कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गोविंद गोविंद राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय गौरनिता जय गौरनिता जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय 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 प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुक्तपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दैताय कृपाब्दये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिनी प्रभवे नमः। माधुरी जल प्रेमाढ़ श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिध Shri Gaura Karunam Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute. Namaste Gauravani Shri Murti Dinatarini Rupanuga Viruddha Prasiddhanta Kvantaharine. Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairakyamurteye Vipralambar Sambodhe Padam Vujayate Namaha. Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumi Stam Nirdeshta Sachana Priya वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्नि गौरतिषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपः स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यां नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपीश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। जयतां सुरतौ पंगुर्मम मंदेर्मतेर्गति मत्सर्वसुपदां भुजौ श्री राधा मदन मोहनो दिव्य वृंदारण्यं कल्पातुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नाकर सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद् राधा शील गोविंद देवो प्रेष्ठालिभि सेव्यमानुस्मरामि। श्रीमान् राससारं वंशीवटतटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वरैर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथ श्रीयेस्तनः तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Once again. Okay. So the question of Arjuna is, those who follow the Vedic rules and regulations, they are defined as demigod or divine qualities. Those who follow the Vedic scriptures, they are defined as divine people. Those who don't follow the rules and regulations given in the Vedas, they're technically known as demons. But what about those who are in the middle? They have faith, but they're not following the vidhi vidhana or the rules and regulations just because they are lazy or maybe some different reasons. So what will be their type of worship? Because they are not following the rules and regulations. So so different types of worship depends upon their qualities of their nature. So we have sato, we have rajas, we have tamas. So how they worship? How they worship? First canto, that is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's. So in this way, they worship according to the nature what they have got. Now it is not that whoever is worshipping Durga Ji is they have different types of worship. Those who are worship in tamas guna, they actually worship whom? They are worshipping the ghosts and the spirits. They are not worshipping. They cut the bali, they do the bali, they offer. Do you think Kali takes it? Kali does not take. That is taken by our ghosts and spirits. So tamas way of worshipping is worshipping ghosts and spirits. And rajas way of worshipping, that all is given now. What are the type of faith they have and how they worship? How satoguna person worships, how rajaguna person worships. So second verse we have completed. There are three kinds of faith according to the three kinds of nature. The third verse. Sattvanurupa sarvasya Shraddha bhavati bharata Shraddhaya Shraddhamayoyam Purusho Yoyat Chatra Shraddha sa eva sa. Sattvanurupa sarvasya Shraddha bhavati bharata Shraddhamayoyam Purusho Yoyat Chraddha sa eva saha. Krishna says, Sattva Anurupa Sarvasya, according to the existence, Sattva Anurupa Sarvasya, everyone has different types of faith, Shraddha. Bhavati, in this way, according to the type of existence, they have different types of श्रद्धामयोऽयं पुरुषो यः यच्छ्रद्धा स एव सः श्रद्धामयः अयं श्रद्धामयः. So he's full of faith. He has the faith, Purusha, living entity. Yat Shraddha Sa Eva Saha. He has a particular faith according to the modes of nature, whatever he has acquired. Whatever he has acquired, according to that, he has a particular type of faith. Now, tamasic way of worship, rajasic way of worship, sattvic way of worship. So, there are different ways of worship, and also when he comes in Krishna consciousness, also there are three types of people. It is not that he has now done with all his nature. No, there are three types of people existing even in Krishna consciousness. There is Satoguna person, there is Rajoguna person, there is Tamasic person. Generally, Rajoguna person has a show-off tendency. Whatever he will do, he will just show off. I have done this much donation. You chant also before everyone. There is tamasic way of worship also. Tamasic gets angry, has an envious tendency. But this nature is not going to go so easily. There are good people also, Krishna consciousness. Now, good people, Rajas people, Tamas people, they all exist everywhere. Even in Krishna consciousness also they will be existing. Outside also they will be existing. According to that, they function. It is not that you have entered the temple and there is a washing machine where you have put all your gunas and now you are completely done with all your gunas. No. Sagunan samatitaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. It takes long time. It may take one lifetime, it may take two lifetimes. We don't know how many lifetimes. To come out of all these gunas, it takes time. There may be a very lazy sadhaka. There may be very passionate sadhaka. There can be somebody very good sadhaka. So it all depends. But at least one thing is better. At least he has taken the path of Krishna consciousness. That is one thing wonderful. Now in the material life also you'll find there will be a person who's very lazy. There is a person who's very active, show off tendency. And there'll be one person who will be very calm, very nice, wonderful. So in the material life also, you'll find three types of people. Now, who are demons who don't have faith? Who are divine people? They have faith. This is what we are speaking now, the Bijka person, who has faith but cannot follow the scriptures because of certain difficulties. Okay. Anupama, start. Sattvanurupa sarvasya.
Hare Krishna Mataji here. Sattvanurupa sarvasya
Shraddha bhavati bharata.
Shraddha bhavati bharata
Shraddha mayoyam purusho.
Shraddha mayoyam purusho
Yo yat shraddha sas eva saha.
Yo ya shraddha sa eva saha.
Okay.
Translation.
Now read.
Translation. O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Everyone has a particular type of faith, regardless of what he is, but his faith is considered good, passionate, or ignorant according to the nature he has acquired. Thus, according to his particular type of faith, one associates with certain persons. Now, the real fact is that every living being, as is stated in the 15th chapter, is originally a fragmental part and parcel of Supreme Lord. Therefore, one is originally transcendental to all the modes of material nature. But when one forgets his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and becomes into contact with the material nature in conditional life, he generates his own position by association with the different varieties of material nature. The resultant artificial faith and existence are only material, although one may be concluded by some impression of some conception of life. Originally, he is nirguna or transcendental. Therefore, one has to become cleansed of the material contamination that he has acquired in order to regain his relationship with the Supreme Lord. This is the only path back without fear, Krishna consciousness. If one is situated in Krishna consciousness, then that path is guaranteed for his elevation to the perfectional stage. If one does not take to this path of self-realization, then he is surely to be conducted by the influence of the modes of nature. The word Shraddha or faith is very significant in this verse. Shraddha or faith originally comes out of the mode of goodness. One's faith may be in a demigod or some created god or some mental concoctions. One's strong faith is supposed to be productive of works of material goodness. But in material conditional life, no works are completely purified. They are mixed. They are not in pure goodness. Pure goodness is transcendental. In purified goodness, one can understand the real nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As long as one's faith is not completely in purified goodness, the faith is subject to contamination by any of the modes of material nature. The contaminated modes of material nature expand to the heart. Therefore, according to position of the heart in contact with a particular mode of material nature, one's faith is established. It should be understood that if one's heart is in the mode of goodness, his faith is also in the mode of goodness. If his heart is in the mode of passion, his faith is also in the mode of passion. And if his heart is in the mode of darkness, illusion, his faith is also thus contaminated. Thus, we find different types of faith in this world, and there are different types of religion due to different types of faith. The real principle of religious faith is situated in the mode of pure goodness, but because the heart is stained, we find different types of religious principles. Thus, according to different type of faith, there are different kinds of worship. Hare Krishna.
So according to different types of nature, there are different types of faith, and according to that, different types of worship. Now, in the next shloka, Krishna is going to speak about what are the different types of worship. Yajante satvika devan yaksharakshansi rajasaha Vetan bhutagalamschanye yajante tamasa janaha Yajante satvika devan yaksharakshamsi rajasaha Pretan bhutagalamschanye yajante tamasa janaha Yajante satvika devan. So satvika, who are in the mode of goodness, they worship devatas. Those who are in the mode of rajas, they worship yaksha rakshamsi, yaksha, that is demons. They worship the demons. And those who are in the mode of ignorance, they worship ghosts. They worship preta, spirits in the body, ghosts. And they worship others. In these others, there are different names which has been given. Maheshwari, Brahmani, this. So they worship different. There are 7 mothers. They worship 7 mothers like Brahmani, Vaishnavi, Maheshwari, Kaumari, Varahi, Drani, Chamundi. So there is tamas way of worship, tamasic way of worship. That is why they will offer bali, they'll offer they'll cut Kali worship. There are different ways of worship. So devatas are worshipped by the mode of goodness. Now we are not speaking anything about spirituality, right? Spirituality refers only to Krishna. Here Krishna is speaking about various worships people do according to their nature. Krishna is only speaking this. Krishna says some worship devatas, some worship demons, yakshas, some worship ghosts, spirits. So according to their nature, different types of worship is there. Okay, Daya Sagar, to read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yajante satvika devam yaksharakshan rajasaha pretam bhutam gunanshchanye yajante tamasa janaha. Translation. Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods. Those in the mode of passion worship the demons. And those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In this verse, the Supreme Personality of Godhead describes different kinds of worshippers according to their external activities. According to spiritual injunction, only the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipable. But those who are not very cognizant with or faithful to the spiritual injunctions worship different objects according to their specific situations in the modes of material nature. Those who are situated in goodness generally worship the demigods. The demigods include Brahma, Shiva, and others such as Indra, Chandra, and the sun god. There are various demigods. Those in goodness worship a particular demigod for a particular purpose. Similarly, those who are in mood of passion worship the demons. We recall that during the Second World War, a man in Calcutta worshipped Hitler because thanks to that war, he had amassed a large amount of wealth by doing in the black market. Similarly, those in the mode of passion and ignorance generally select a powerful man to be God. They think that anyone can be worshipped as God and that the same result will be obtained.
Yeah, there are some who worship politicians also. They like to be worshipped.
Now it is clearly described here that those who are in the mode of passion worship and create such gods, and those who are in the mode of ignorance in darkness worship dead spirits. Sometimes people worship at the tomb of some dead man. Sexual service is also considered to be in the mode of darkness. Similarly, in a remote village in India, there are worshippers of ghosts. We have seen that in India, The lower class people sometimes go to the forest, and if they have knowledge that a ghost lives in a tree, they worship that tree and offer sacrifices. These different kinds of worship are not actually God worship. God worship is for persons who are transcendentally situated in pure goodness. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 4.3.23, it is said, Satam Vishudam Vasudeva Shabditam. When a man is situated in a pure goodness, he worships Vasudeva. The purport is that those who are completely purified of the material mode of nature and who are transcendentally situated can worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So see the line. The purpose is that those who are completely purified. So we are now in the process of purification, right? We are as a sadhaka, we are in the process of purification. At least we are in the process of purification. That's only because of the anugraha or the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So when a person is completely done with simple modes of nature, at the time he is transcendentally situated to worship the Lord, the Supreme Personality of God.
The impersonalists are supposed to be situated in the mode of goodness, and they worship five kinds of demons, demigods, five kinds of demigods. They worship the impersonal Vishnu form in the material world, which is known as philosoph,
Is it?
philosophized Vishnu. Vishnu is the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the impersonalists, because they do not ultimately believe in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, imagine that the Vishnu form is just another aspect of the impersonal Brahman. Similarly, they imagine that Lord Brahma is the impersonal form in the material mode of passion. Thus, they sometimes describe five kinds of gods that are worshipable, but because they think that the actual truth is impersonal Brahman, they dispose of all worshipable objects at the ultimate end. In conclusion, the different qualities of the material modes of nature can be purified through association with persons who are of transcendental nature. Hare Krishna.
So the impersonalists are supposed to be situated in the mode of goodness, and they worship the five kinds of demigods. They worship Ganesha, Surya, Durga, Shiva, Vishnu. In BS, there is a place where such five type of worship. Once I was traveling with them, they're very good people. They are very good people. They have the mode of goodness. So they will worship five kinds of demigods. For them, Krishna is also one demigod. Vishnu is also one demigod. So they will say, mute your phones. Janardhan, there's every time a problem. Phone should be muted, Prabhu, whenever you join. So they worship five kinds of demigods. They worship impersonal Vishnu in the material world. For them all five, they don't have any consideration of personal aspect of Lord. Nor they know when they don't know the personal aspect of God, then where they know the personal aspect of the demigods also. So they are impersonalists. They'll worship in the mode of goodness. They'll worship. They are not having the personal understanding. Vishnu is expansion, but the impersonal is because they do not ultimately believe in the Lord. Imagine Vishnu is another aspect of impersonal Brahman. So in this way, everything is impersonal. Everything is just Brahman. Sarvam Kalidam Brahman. They also do some worship. They will chant also. They'll wake up early in the morning and chant. They have their own ways of worship. So Srila Prabhupada says they are also categorized as goodness only. So all good people are not devotees. Not that all devotees are also in the mode of goodness. There can be devotee in the mode of passion. There can be a devotee in the mode of tamas. But at least he has taken up Krishna consciousness, so slowly he will come to the platform of goodness. And then after that, he will be raised to the platform where of pure goodness. So as soon as somebody comes in the temple, don't expect that he's a very good person. There are different motives when a person comes to the temple. And slowly, because of the impressions what he has got in the previous life, that is not going to go in one day. It will take time. But at least he has accepted the process. Ashastra vihitam goram tapyante ye tapo janaha dambhahankara samyukta kamaraga balanvitaha कर्षयन्तः शरीरस्थं भूतग्रामम् अचेतसः मां चैवान्तः शरीरस्थं तान् विद्यासुरनिश्चयान् अशास्त्रविहितं घोरं. So what all type of austerities a person takes, which is not there in scriptures, ghoram, ghor tapasya. There are people who do 9 days vrata. After doing 9 days vrata, what they do, they don't even chant the holy name. What is the use of doing so much of ghora tapasya? So they generally do. So ghoram, ashastram, vihitam ghoram. They do ghora tapasya, harmful to others. It becomes harmful to others also. They not eat anything. Sometimes they surround themselves with a fire. They stand inside the fire band. Sometimes they will stand on the water. Ghora tapasyas. These are all ghora tapasyas. There are ghoris who do ghora tapasya. They will sit in the shamshan. They'll eat flesh. They'll eat whatever comes. They take ash and like so ghora tapasyas. It's not so easy also. It's not there in the scriptures, and that is harmful to others. Tapaha janaha, dambha, and they have pride also. And they do it out of pride, ahankara, egoism. Samyuktaha, so they do it out of pride and egoism. And then, what is that force which impels them to do? That is lust. Kama, raga, bala. So in this way, lust and attachment. That gives them the strength to do this. Karshayantaha sharirastham. In this way, they torment their own body. They give difficulties to their own body. Bhutagramam, which is made up of material elements. Achetasaha, because their mentality. There is a subtle body. That is man buddhi ahankara. And this type of nature affects the subtle body. Because of achetasaha, this type of mentality affects the subtle body. Mam cha eva antaha sharirastham. And it is not only affecting them, they torture the subtle elements as well as the super soul. Krishna says, when they perform such things, even I am tortured. This is why his father cannot see the sufferings of their own children. Pulling the hairs, not taking bath after taking renunciation. They don't take bath. There are so many monks, they don't take bath. They'll walk barefoot. The minute the hairs are there, they start plucking the hairs. I think Krishna likes all these things. Krishna says they're tormenting me also. That means Krishna is not liking such type of ghora vratas. As well as the super soul dwelling within are to be These people are demons. Now Krishna clearly says, who are demons now? Because question of Arjuna was, if they are not following the scriptures, but they have certain faith, what we should ask, what we should call them. Krishna says faith depends upon their nature. But who are the demons? Who are all doing these type of austerity, finances, and that too out of pride. And Krishna says they are tormenting their own bodies. And Krishna says they come in the category of demons. So tapasya is, even a devotee does tapasya, but there Krishna dances. Krishna loves the tapasya. Krishna loves to hear his own name. But if there is a pride, then again Krishna does not like. So we should know what Krishna does not like. Krishna does not like lust. Krishna does not like pride. The desire, keeping oneself in the center, Krishna does not like. Pride, Krishna does not like. So all these things Krishna does not like. Narayana, read.
Mataji, can I read?
Yes, Jumbo, read.
अशास्त्रविहितं घोरं तप्यन्ते ये तपोजनाः दम्बाहङ्कारसंयुक्ताः कामरागबलान्विताः कर्षयन्तः शरीरस्थं भूतग्राममचेतस मामसेवान्तशरीरस्थं तान् विद्यासुरनिश्चयान्. Those who undergo severe austerities and finances not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride and egoism, who are impelled by lust and attachment, who are foolish and who torture the material elements of the body, as well as the super soul dwelling within, are to be known as demons. Purport. There are persons who manufacture modes of austerity and penance which are not mentioned in the scriptural injunctions. For instance, fasting for some ulterior purpose, such as to promote a purely political end, is not mentioned in the scriptural directions. The scriptures recommend fasting for spiritual advancement, not for some political end or social purpose. Persons who take to such austerities are, according to Bhagavad Gita, certainly demoniac. Their acts are against the scriptural injunctions and are not beneficial for the people in general. Actually, they act out of pride, false ego, lust, and attachment for material enjoyment. By such activities, not only is the combination of material elements of which the body is constructed disturbed, but also the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself living within the body. Such unauthorized fasting or austerity for some political end are certainly very disturbing to others. They are not mentioned in the Vedic literature. A demoniac person may think that he can force his enemy or other parties to comply with his desire by this method, but sometimes one dies by such fasting. These acts are not approved by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he says that those who engage in them are demons. Such demonstrations are insults to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they are enacted in disobedience to the Vedic scriptural injunctions. The word atitakaha is significant in this connection. Persons of normal mental condition must obey the scriptural injunctions. Those who are not in such a position neglect and disobey the scriptures and manufacture their own way of austerities and penances. One should always remember the ultimate end of the demoniac people, as described in the previous chapter. The Lord forces them to take birth in the wombs of demoniac persons. Consequently, they will live by the demonic principles life after life without knowing their relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If, however, such persons are fortunate enough to be guided by a spiritual master who can direct them to the path of Vedic wisdom, they can get out of this entanglement and ultimately achieve the supreme goal.
So Prabhupada always concludes with something. Even if a person is a demon, but if he comes in association with a devotee and he is guided properly, slowly, he will give up this path. and take up to Krishna consciousness and slowly purify himself completely and have pure goodness. Now, ahara, different types of worship has been given. There is demigods, demons, and bhuta pishachis. There are ghoris who sit in the night in Shamshan and they will do all the bhuta pishachi worship. There are people who worship the demons. Demons means worshipping people like some politicians and all those things. The demons only, no? When you say one who is not taking up Krishna consciousness, and who is a demon? Because the previous verse, what is told, the passionate people worship demons. Who are demons? Who do a lot of severe austerities. Then they do it out of pride. They have so much, they torture their own body. They have a show off tendency. They are called as demons. And there are people who worship them after seeing their austerities. Oh, so much of austerity is doing. Let us worship him. They are technically called as demons. There can be some who are on the political grounds. There may be some who are in the so-called religious path. So such people, their category has been given. Now ahara. What type of ahara? These three type of people have. Aharastvapi sarvasya trivido bhavati priyah yagyastapastaka danam tesha vedam imam shrunu. Again Krishna says shrunu. Here आहारस्त्वपि सर्वस्य त्रिविधो भवति प्रियः यज्ञस्तपस्तथा दानं तेषां वेदमिमं शृणु. Now what type of food he takes? Three types of people have three kinds of food, three kinds of sacrifices, three kinds of austerities, three kinds of charity. Let us see. Immediately don't try to analyze others. Let us analyze ourselves. We'll start analyzing which type of charity. Hey, you are pakka in passion. Huh? We don't have to analyze anyone. We just have to analyze ourselves. After reading this, somebody asked, I still remember 15, 20 years when we were doing Bhakti Shastri. At that time, somebody asked, Mataji, which guna you are? I said, I. Let me identify myself. So we don't have to analyze anyone. We just have to analyze verses. So aharastvapi sarvasya trivido bhavati priyaha. Three types of eating habits they have. Yakyas tapas tata dhanam tesham vedam imshru. There's a difference in the type of yakya, that is sacrifice, in the way of their austerity and in the way of their dhanam, charity. Okay, Ashoka Nija Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna. Aharastvapi sarvasya trividho bhavati priyaha yajnastapasyasthatha danam tesham bhedam imam shrunu. Translation. Even the food each person refers is of three kinds according to the three modes of material nature. The same is true of sacrifices, austerities, and charity. Now hear of the distinctions between them. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In terms of different situations in the modes of material nature, there are differences in the manner of eating and performing sacrifices, austerities, and charities. They are not all conducted on the same level. Those who can understand analytically what kind of performances are in what modes of material nature are actually wise. Those who consider all kinds of sacrifice or food or charity to be the same cannot discriminate, and they are foolish. There are missionary workers who advocate that one can do whatever he likes and attain perfection. But those foolish guides are not acting according to the direction of the scripture. They are manufacturing ways and misleading the people in general. Hare Krishna.
So there are missionary workers who advocate that one can do whatever he likes and attain perfection. So this is why they have many followers. Because people like such type of preachers. Somebody asked Prabhupada, we are advocating that no meat eating, no intoxication use, no gambling. How many people are going to take this? because the place where he landed, this was all in full-fledged going on. Prabhupada said, I've opened a diamond market, not a fish market. So there are missionary people who say, whatever you all want to do, just do whatever we say. They have many followers, but none of them are diamond. They just like a fish market, you have many people. Such type of Bhuta Pisachis are there. So, like Bhutaganas are there for Lord Shiva. There are so many Bhutaganas, Pishachis, Bhutaganas. And Lord Shiva is Guru for them also. That's why he's known as Chalaguru. At the same time, he's Guru for Vaishnavas also. Vaishnava Namithasham. He knows to guide the Vaishnavas because he is the Param Vaishnava. At the same time, he knows to guide the Bhutaganas. That is how they like to pray to the ghastly form of Lord Shiva, Bhairavanath. They'll offer drinks also. Their own type of worship. In Varanasi, they will offer drinks also. Bhairav, Kala Bhairav, Mother Kali, Kala Bhairav, type of worship. And they'll beat themselves. Their austerities or different. If you see them, it's a so khatarnak type of worship. You'll feel scared. They'll beat themselves. They'll take fire in the hand. They will run with that. Mariamman temple is there. I was scared when I went there. There were people who were taking fire in their hand. They are walking. They walk on fire. Different austerities. Mariamman is our Kulaswamini, my mother's side. So it's not that she is passionate or tamasic. There are ways to worship Mother Goddess for Durga. But there are people who are worshipping her in a different way, in a tamasic way. So we should understand, demigods are not tamasic, nor they are. Demigods anyhow have divine qualities. They are all servants of Krishna. But according to one's faith, how they worship, and when they are cutting an animal and keeping before before Mother Kali, do you think Mother Kali is eating that? She gives to her ghosts and goblins. He says, you all take. Because there are Bhuta Pisachis also, followers of, there are many Bhuta Pisachis who are controlled by Lord Shiva. That is why Lord Shiva controls mode of ignorance. Those who are in the mode of ignorance, they are controlled by Mother Kali, there is Durga Devi, the ghastly form, Bhairavnath, who is a ghastly form of Lord Shiva. So they control them because somebody has to control. No? Krishna does not deal directly with the ghosts and people. Ghost goblins, he doesn't deal directly. His expansion, Lord Shiva, he deals with these people, Bhuta Pisachis. Okay. Ayu Sattva Rogya Sukha Priti Vivardhanaha Rasya Snigdha Stira Hridya Rasya Snigdha Stira Hridya Aharaha Satvika Priyaham Ayu Sattva Rogya Sukha Priti Vivardhanaha Rasya Snigdha Stira Hridya Ahara Satvika Priyaham. So those who are in the mode of goodness, what they like to eat? They like to eat such ahara which increases their ayu, increases the duration of life, purifies their existence. Ahara shuddha, sattva shuddhi, bala increases their strength, increases their health, happiness, arogya, and satisfaction. So when you take satoguna ahara, automatically you feel satisfied. That's why you have more sweet items, especially made of gourd. You have milk items. They like to take, and these are Daivi Guna Aharas. They are very juicy. Will be always juicy. You take the vegetables, it will be juicy. They like to take such things, fatty, wholesome, pleasing to the heart. When you take the food itself, you will feel satisfied. They like such food. Now let us see what type of food passionate people like. Katvamala, Katvamla Lavanati Ushna Tikshna Ruksha Vidahinaha Ahara Rajasasyeshta Dukkha Shokha Maya Pradaha Katvam Kat Katwamala Lavanatyushna Tikshna Ruksha Vidahinaha Ahara Rajasasyeshta Dukkha Shokha Maya Pradaha. Too bitter, too sour, too salty, too hot, too pungent, too dry, too burning. So when you take such ahara, you see the person is actually sweating, and that they are all coming in the category of passion. Now immediately don't think that how can I make sambar? It has only certain amount of ratio is important. Here everything is too has been put. It is too much, too pungent. Ati ushna, too hot things to drink, and too pungent. Some spices are added by even Satoguna people. But everything when it becomes the extreme end, the extreme, everything is so red, everything is so burning. And when he's eating, he's practically sweating. That's all in the mood of passion. There are people who like to take, they sweat also. And they feel that distress, misery. There is a disease. Actually, you'll get disease. When you take too spicy, naturally you have pulse problem, that problem, this one. So many problems come. Blood pressure problems. I'll read all the 3 verses, then we'll ask who will be reading. 1 verse Hansarupi Prabhu will read, 1 verse Gadadhar Prabhu will read, and the 3rd verse Vaishnava Priya Prabhu will read. So 10th verse. Yatayamam gataram puti paryushitam chayat uchishtam api chamidhyam bhojanam tam sapriyam yatayamam gatarasam paryushitam yat paryushitam chayat uchishtam api chamidhyam bhojanam tamasa priyam. Now what tamas people like, let us see. So it is said food prepared more than 3 hours before eating, before being eaten. Food that is tasteless, decomposed, putrid. And food consisting of remnants and untouchable things is dear to those in the mood of darkness. They like to eat old food. Now, Prabhupada used to cook in the morning and keep it in the fridge, but it's too often. It's too often. But there are certain times we are not able to cook fresh ones. So, generally, it is said cook fresh. But sometimes you have cooked and you have kept in the fridge, but you have offered. That food doesn't become a stale food once which we have offered. Try making fresh food. That is very good. But out of some circumstances, like in old age, Prabhupada could not do 2 times. Preaching was more important. So he used to keep some part for the evening. So don't immediately call, oh, it's a stale food. No, it's not a stale food. Food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten. Food that is tasteless, decomposed, stale food. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was making wonderful puris with nice ghee. The neighborhood people came. They said, hey, what a dirty smell. Now just see, pure ghee, they called it as a dirty smell because what they were used to, taking the dead crabs, put in some vinegar, which was lying for months in the, what do you call that, the boxes you keep, the stale food. So such type of junk foods consisting of remnants, untouchable things, they are like by tamas people. So when tamasic people see this, when they see something which is made of fresh ghee and all, they feel that is very dirty. they can they because they are used to taking all horrible smell. Okay, so what happens? The duration of life also decreases. They don't experience the happiness. At least he's taking hot food. Passionate person, too hot food. This person takes always all old food. They like to eat all cold food, old food. And in this way, they die with all diseases. They like to always take something out of the fridge, eating like that. It will be lying for years and years, months and months. They like to take all this type of food. Junk foods. Okay. First verse.
Hare Krishna Mata. Ayu Satbalarogya Sukirti Priti Vivardhana Tasya Sikka Stiravidya Ahara Satvika Priya.
When you say priyaha, vivardhanaha, aha, yes, aha is there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Foods
Read the
dear to food dear to those in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, and give strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart. Hare Krishna.
Okay, next.
Hare Krishna, Mother, Naam to you. Tattvamala lavanatya ushna.
Lavanatyashna. Lavanatyushna, you can say. Or Lavanatyashna.
Okay. Tattvamala lavanatyushna. Yushna. Tattvamala lavanatyushna. Ikshna ruksha vidahinaha. Ahara rajasasyesta. Dukkha sokamaya prataha. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry and burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Such food causes distress, misery, and disgrace.
Hare Krishna. Text 10. Yatayamam gatarasam puti pariushitam chayat uttishtam cha medhyam bhojanam tamasa priyam. Translation. Food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten, food that is tasteless, decomposed and putrid, and food consisting of remnants and untouchable things is dear to those in the mode of darkness. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The purpose of food is to increase the duration of life, purify the mind and aid bodily strength. This is its only purpose. In the past, great authorities selected those food that best aid health and increase life's duration, such as milk products, sugar, rice, wheat, fruits, and vegetables. These foods are very dear to those in the mode of goodness. Some other foods, such as baked corns and molasses, while not very palatable in themselves, can be made pleasant when mixed with milk or other foods. They are then in the mode of goodness. All these foods are pure by nature. They are quite distinct from untouchable things like meat and liquor. Fatty foods, as mentioned in the 8th verse, have no connection with animal fat obtained by slaughter. Animal fat is available in the form of milk, which is most wonderful of all foods. Milk, butter, cheese, and similar products give animal fat in a form which rules out any need for the killing of innocent creatures. It is only through brute mentality that these killings goes on. The civilized method of obtaining needed fat is by milk. Slaughter is the way of subhumans. Protein is amply available through split peas, dal, whole wheat, etc. Foods in the mode of passion, which are bitter, too salty, or too hot, or overly mixed with red pepper, cause misery by reducing the mucus in the stomach, leading to disease. Foods in the mode of ignorance or darkness are essentially those that are not fresh. Any food cooked more than 3 hours before it is eaten, except prasadam, food offered to the Lord, is considered to be in the mode of darkness. Because they are decomposing, such foods give a bad odor, which often attracts people in this mode but repulses those in the mode of goodness. Remnants of food may be eaten only when they are part of a meal that was first offered to the Supreme Lord or first eaten by saintly persons, especially the spiritual master. Otherwise, the remnants of food are considered to be in the mode of darkness, and they increase infection or disease. Such foodstuffs, although very palatable to persons in the mode of darkness, are neither liked nor even touched by those in the mode of goodness. The best food is the remnants of what is offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord says that He accepts preparation of vegetables, flour, and milk when offered with devotion. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Of course, devotion and love are the chief things which the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts. But it is also mentioned that the prasadam should be prepared in a particular way. Any food prepared by the injections of the scriptures and offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be taken even if prepared long, long ago, because such food is transcendental. Therefore, to make food antiseptic, eatable, and palatable for all persons, one should offer food to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
So even if it is remaining, like you go for yatra, you cook and take, you eat the next day. To come in the mode of ignorance or all. Because it is offered to Krishna, it is not a stale food. It is not a stale food. It is antiseptic in quality. Yes. The powerful statement. And then remnants, you should not take jhuta of everyone. Only of Krishna and of Guru. So remnants of Guru is very pure. Other all you should not. Like some people have the habit of eating in one plate. Many friends will sit to meet in one plate. All jhuta. It's all actually tamasic way of, is tamasic behavior. Tamas behavior. Ignorance. Tamas means ignorance. So it is a very disgusting. It is disgusting to the people who are in the mode of goodness. Those in the mode of goodness, they cannot see such dirty things. They'll eat with the left hand also, right hand also. They'll put in others' mouth also. They'll take out from others' mouth and eat also. They will have one cigarette. Everybody will be having that. There are people, like mad people. One will blow the smoke and then give it to the other. And same, they cut the cake, put in the mouth of others. Then they will also eat. It's all so disgusting. Just by seeing also it is so rotten. It's an horrible thing. So these are all the way of some people celebrate like this, their birthdays. The birthday itself starts with an inauspicious thing. They can nicely worship Krishna, offer, and distribute nicely. They can have everything. When you offer to Krishna, it becomes prasadam and uchishta. Even if Krishna is rejecting also, but it becomes avashesha. Not that everything we do is eaten by Krishna. The way we do, the consciousness when we do, when we make prasadam. That is like Srila Prabhupada writes, prasadam should be cooked very carefully. Our consciousness should be in chanting the holy name, chanting some verses from Bhagavatam. So while chanting, when you're cooking, automatically the consciousness is pure and it goes in that. The consciousness is taken by Krishna. He is not behind your dal, sabji, or cakes or something like that. He is behind our consciousness. What type of consciousness we have put in the food? He is not eating our dal or rice. He has ample things. He is Atmatriptaha. He can eat also. It's not necessary he should not eat. He will eat also. But what he is actually eating is our consciousness. So while making food, your consciousness is not there. You are busy talking in your business about the business. What is the use? That is why while make yoga, as much as possible, do swadhyaya. Chant the verses which you have memorized. Even if one verse, go on chanting. Or keep some shlokas. Hear to the shlokas. Keep some classes. Hear to the classes. So what happens is the consciousness is pure. The whole environment is pure. So it is a careful way of making the bhogas. And that Krishna eats. That is why when others eat, they also experience that bliss. If oneself also eats, he experiences that bliss. Now, the three type of food has been spoken. Now, three type of yagyas of sacrifice. Afalakankshirbhiryagyo vididishto ya ichyate yashtavyameveti manah samadhaya sasatvikaha. Afalakankshirbhiryagyo vididishto ya ichyate yashtavyam eveti manah samadhaya satvikaha. Afala akankshibihi. Now, a person in the mode of goodness, when he performs the sacrifice, he does it as a matter of duty, which doesn't have much desire for the result. He does it because he does it every time. He does it. That type of worship, the type of yajna, it is done as a matter of duty, without a desire for any reward. Yashta vyam eveti manaha. So in this way, his mind is so fixed up, samadhaya. So that's such type of person whose mind is fixed up, not at all agitated. You can feel the difference. Yajna done by a person in the mode of goodness. Yajna done by a passionate person. And yajna done by a tamasic person. You can understand the difference. He does it as a matter of duty. There will be no much desire, any expectation of any reward. Then, abhisandhaya tu phalam dambartham api chaiva yad ijjate bharata shrestha tam yagyam vidhi rajasam. Abhisandhaya tu phalam dambhartham api chaiva yad ijjate bharata shrestha tam yagyam vidhi rajasam. There are sacrifices done for some material benefit or for the sake of pride, to show off, even I do yajna. So that is having the material benefit, the desire for material benefit, desire for name and fame. That is passion. Now let us see what tamasic people do. Rajasic something better, but tamasic is so horrible. Vidhihinam Asushtannam mantrahinam adakshinam shraddha virahitam yagyam tamasam parichakshate. Vidhihinam asushtannam mantrahinam adakshinam shraddha virahitam yagyam tamasam parichakshate. Vidhihinam, without scriptural direction. Asrushta annam, without distribution of prasadam. Mantrahinam, with no chanting of Vedic hymns. Adakshinam, with no remunerations to the priest. No Shraddha also. Shraddha virahitam, there is no faith. Such type of sacrifice is done by person in the mode of ignorance, parichakshate. So any sacrifice performed without regard for the directions of the scripture, without distribution of prasadam, spiritual food, without chanting of Vedic hymns, and without any remunerations to the priest, and without faith is considered to be the mode of ignorance. So these are very important aspects. That is prasadam distribution. You see Harinam Sankirtan Yajna, which is started by Srila Prabhupada. It has everything. It has distribution of prasadam. It has a chanting of Harinam Sankirtan, Vedic hymns, that is Harinam Sankirtan, Bhagavad Gita verses, Bhagavatam verses. Remuneration to the priests, yes, you give dakshina, very important, giving dakshina to the elderly Vaishnavas. And then it has faith. That is why this is all beyond even sato. It goes beyond even sato. But what about this person of ignorance? He doesn't do anything. So faith in actually they are faithless people. Those who are in the mode of ignorance, what is their faith? Technically, you can say they are faithless people. They are faithless. and they just show off their faith for making some money. Their whole dhyana is in the money. They do some puja, but their whole dhyana will be how much money, how much recreation, how much enjoyment I have. That is all tamasic way of worship. Now you see there are pandal, Durga pandal programs going on. People dance like some ghosts. They really don't dance for Devi. Actually, for Devi, if you see in the south also, in temples, kolatam is done. Kolatam means taking the dandiya and doing for the Devi. Kolatam is also with the hand also. There's a way to do. And you see the Bhuta Pisachis, how they dance. They put some DJ music, and the girls will be dancing, the boys will be dancing. It is actually a fun time for the girls and the boys. It's not for Devi. Devi is not at all seen. Or somewhere they'll go, they'll do some prayers. Devi protect our desires. Let our desires grow. So Mahamaya acts there. It's not Yoga Maya. At that time, the Mahamaya makes that person dance, and she laughs and she takes the Tridanda to beat that person. That is her work. So there are different ways of worship. Okay. Now who all will read? Kanchan Mataji will read first verse, Kamrakshi will read the second verse, Gadi Puji will read the third verse. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam. Afalakankshi bhikshir yagyo vidhidishto ya ijyate yasta vyayam iveti manah samadhaye sa satvika. Translation of sacrifices, the sacrifice performed according to the directions of scriptures as a matter of duty by those who desire no reward is of the nature of goodness. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The general tendency is to offer sacrifice with some purpose in mind, but here it is stated that sacrifice should be performed without any such desire. It should be done as a matter of duty. Take, for example, the performance of rituals in temples or in churches. Generally, they are performed with the purpose of material benefit, but that is not in the mode of goodness. One should go to a temple or church as a matter of duty, offer respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and offer flowers and eatables without any purpose of obtaining material benefit. Everyone thinks that there is no use in going to the temple just to worship God, but worship for economic benefit is not recommended in the scriptural injunctions. One should go simply to offer respect to the deity that will place one in the mode of goodness. It is the duty of every civilized man to obey the injunctions of the scriptures and offer respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Abhisandayatu phalam tam partam abhichayvayat ichate bharata shreta tam yakyam vitti rajasam. Translation: but the sacrifice performed for some material benefit or for the sake of pride. For chief of the Bharatas, you should know to be in the mode of passion. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sometimes sacrifices and rituals are performed for elevation to the heavenly kingdom or for some material benefits in this world. Such sacrifices or ritualistic performance are considered to be in the mode of passion.
Okay, 13th verse.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Vidhihinam asrustanam mantrahinam adakshinam Shraddha virahitam yajnam tamasam parichakshate. Translation: any sacrifice performed without regard for directions of the scripture, without distribution of prasadam, spiritual food, without chanting the Vedic hymns and remunerations to the priest, and without faith is considered to be in the mode of ignorance. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Faith in the mode of darkness or ignorance is actually faithlessness. Sometimes people worship some demigod just to make money and then spend the money for recreation, ignoring the scriptural injunctions. Such ceremonial shows of religiosity are not accepted as genuine.
See,
They are
what is given? Such ceremonial functions are not accepted. They keep the demigod, but they will do what they want. Buddhihinam, Shastrahinam. Hmm? They'll not distribute prasad. They'll go in something. They'll give also something here and there. That is not prasad distribution. And even if prasadam is given also, that is done out of pride. That is not prasad. Who has taken that? Prasadam is somebody has to take, na? You know, Durga also doesn't take. Do you think Durga ji will take? She is Vaishnavi. She will not take whatever is given.
Yes, Mate. They are all in the mode of darkness. They produce a demonic mentality and do not benefit human society. Hare Krishna.
Yes. That is not going to benefit any human society. Viddihinam, and then Asrushtaha. There are people who cook non-vegetarian also. And they'll distribute prasad, Kali prasad, Kali prasad. So we have to be very careful of such people, the demonic people. They show that they are having faith, but they don't have faith. They are faithless people. They make a fun out of the festivals. Actually, one should avoid such places. Just for the namesake person goes, but you should avoid such places because it is shastrahinam, it is buddhihinam, it is shraddhahinam. And immediately you can feel the difference also. The moment you go there, you will feel what is happening. Is my devotion going low? Actually, such atmosphere affects the sadhakas, and the sadhaka we have to be very, very careful. For sadhakas are like still our consciousness has to be improved, isn't it? Anytime it can fluctuate. So we have to be very, very careful. Okay, any doubts? We'll stop here. It's nice chapter, isn't it? 17th chapter. Now austerity of body, mind, speech will come. Any doubts?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mm.
In this last verse, which we have just completed, 13th verse, they say the person, 12th, a person who is in mode of ignorance and doing this yajna and all that. First of all, what is when he is not?
What is?
He is doing yajna and all that, performing any.
When we say any some
sacrifice,
puja, like now
yeah,
Durga installation, even a tamas also does. Tamasic person also does.
Yeah, when he is not distributing prasadam or not following any injunction as per the Vedic thing, then what he is doing it for, and what is the
ignorance. See, passion does it for fulfilling his desires, and that desire, when it extends deeply, it becomes tamas. What is the difference between tamas and rajas? Extended passion is tamas.
Yes.
Yes.
But
Extended
at least
passion.
a rajas person on mode of passion, he is worshipping or doing puja for demigod for his material benefits and all.
If he is not getting, then frustration.
Yeah,
That
is
frustration
there.
he comes to is degraded as ignorant. Extended passion, which makes him degrade more, which degrades him more and more, with more and more hope.
But sometimes it so happens that his desires are fulfilled and his faith increases more in those.
Then he goes to the goodness. If greed is not increasing, faith is increasing, he will go to goodness. If greed is increasing, not satisfied, more and more greed, it will degrade him to tamas. At time what happens? More greed. He wants it. Beg, borrow, steal. Simple. Beg, borrow, or steal. Doing so much of hard work. I want to collect this much. I have done it. Well, he's satisfied at least. And slowly, slowly it starts thinking about now how to increase my good consciousness. Then it's okay. Now I want more. I want more. Then you start some illegal way of doing. Illegal means. And illegal means makes him degrade to come to tamas. People are not satisfied, no?
Yes,
Now
Mataji.
I have 10 crores and I should want 20 crores. So my hard work is not giving me 20 crores. So let me do some illegal way, under table, upper table, whatever.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Yes, continue.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी मेरा क्वेश्चन थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है। माता जी मुझसे मैंने एक लेडी को बताया कि हम जो पाप करते हैं उसका फल भी हमें भोगने आना पड़ता है, और जो हम पुण्य करते हैं उसका फल भी भोगने हमें आना पड़ता है नेक्स्ट लाइफ में। तो उसने मुझसे पूछा कि अगर हमने किसी को 2000 रुपए दिए और अगले जन्म में उसने बहुत पाप किया, उसको मनुष्य जीवन नहीं मिला, तो फिर क्या होगा? वो क्या मतलब फिर वो हमारा पैसा वापस कैसे करेगा? वो फिर हमारे साथ कैसा उसकी डीलिंग कैसे कंप्लीट होगी?
I have no answer. वो देखिए भगवान की प्रकृति है ना, देखेंगे क्या करते हैं।
यस माता जी।
ज्यादा इसमें झमेल में नहीं पड़ना चाहिए। नेक्स्ट जन्म में क्या होगा, उसका 2000 उसको कैसे मिलेगा,
Mataji, but
कुछ है। हाँ,
it sometimes happens, as Kanchan Mataji has just said, that 2000 रुपए कैसे मिलेगा, but it sometimes so happens with
भी
us
इतना
and all that.
कॉन्शियसनेस 2000 में रहेगा तो क्या करें?
No,
2000 में
Mataji, let it be 2000. In the thing is that
माता जी लोग
sometimes
पूछ लेते हैं उल्टे पुल्टे क्वेश्चन। माता जी
ठीक है, अभी ऐसा है, मैंने किसी से कुछ लिया, ठीक है, तो मेरा ऋण बनता है उसको वापस देना, और मैंने कभी नहीं दिया तो मेरा ये जो पाप है मुझे अगले जन्म में लेके जाना पड़ेगा। तो जरूरत नहीं है कि दैट सेम पर्सन ओनली विल कम, समबडी एल्सेस ऋण पूरा करने के लिए या चुकाने के लिए आई हैव टू फेस सम डिफिकल्टीज विद अदर पर्सन। इट इज नॉट दैट तू आएगा तेरे साथ ही मेरा एक हिसाब किताब होगा, नॉट नेसेसरी, इट कैन बी विद समबडी एल्स। अभी कितने सारे हिसाब किताब कर रहे हैं हम लोग, तो कहाँ से कर रहे हैं? वो सास इतना बोलती है, इतना दिमाग खराब कर रही है, तो क्यों? कहीं ना कहीं मैं भी किसी ना किसी का दिमाग खराब किया होगा ना, तो क्यों भोग रहे हैं? तो जरूरत नहीं कि वही आदमी है उसी के साथ पल्ला क्यों पड़ना है, किसी और के साथ भी पल्ला पड़ सकता है। इसलिए बहुत कुछ इसमें डिटेल में नहीं जाना, फिर वो तो सोचेगा अरे बाप रे ये तो अगले जन्म में भी मेरे पीछे पड़ेगा। डर जाए।
ये भी हो सकता है माता जी पिछले जन्म का देना हो इसलिए दिया हो।
वो भी हो सकता है। कोई भी ये भी बोल सकता है अभी तो मुझे देना ही नहीं क्योंकि पिछले जन्म में मैं तुमको दे दिया था, यही चीज वापस दे दिया। तो इसीलिए कोई भी हमको भी उल्लू बना सकता है। ओके, लाइनोपति चैंटवर्स, वॉइस इज नॉट हर्ड, वॉइस इज नॉट हर्ड। जुमूर वॉइस नहीं आ रहा है, आपको आ रहा है क्या वॉइस?
नहीं आ रहा माता जी, नहीं आ रहा।
नहीं आ रहा है, नहीं आ रहा है जुमूर, नहीं आ रहा है साउंड। हरि बोल, साउंड नहीं आ रहा है, कनेक्टिंग प्रॉब्लम है।
नहीं वो कुछ प्रॉब्लम है।
नहीं, हाँ, वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरि बोल।